Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in a state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits, only temporarily, those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much-needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
Ghetto, run, keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just try and I say watch a man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I she never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gotta bust down Babylon walls. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war crime. Fight down. Me say Rastafari. War and crime. And do the righteousness. And we love I will love Jaja, Jah Rastafari. I will love Jaja, Jah Rastafari. Save all people. Yeah, we love Jah, we love Jaja, Jah Rastafari. We love Jaja, Jah Rastafari. Save all people. Put time away again. Listen,
Yeah.
so just as I say, watch your man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace, while we penalize. Hey, oh, night, we gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way, prepare the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and cry, fight down war and cry. Rastafari, war and cry, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah Rastafari. We love all, and we love Jah, Jah Rastafari. Me love Jah, Jah Rastafari. Me love Jah, Jah Rastafari. Preserve all. Me love Jah, Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ Twink.
The call for investigation, the bloated bureaucracy, the Prime Minister's salary, the new tax, the wanton killing by police, and the senseless killing in our country by the criminals. Welcome to tonight's Anansi's story of our country called the state of Jamaica. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Sorry we weren't here this morning because in the midst of winter, summer has arrived this week in the UK. Yes, we are basking in the glory of the summer sun to the dismay of our friends on the other side of the pond who is being battered in sleet and snow, covered in inches of it. We are sorry for you, but it has arrived early. We don't know if it's Prince Charles trying to distract us from his unfolding disgrace, but for some reason, spring just pick up himself and turn up town with today. So glorious sunshine, summer weather, t-shirt and all that jazz. Can you believe it in February? While people is suffering on the other side of the Atlantic from blistering cold weather, it's amazing. Anyway, good evening and welcome to my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good evening and welcome. A new entity to steal, bloated bureaucracy, or just another entity that will fall under the weight of procurement scandal and contract breaches. The Ministry of Defense. I didn't even know we never had one, but a new of the plenty ministries has been added to the office of the plenty ministry. Can you believe it? Another ministry. But we'll go through them tick by tick. Honor the globalists. Like and share the live for us, please. Lauren, how are you? No, Laura, rather. Admit tonight. Elga Fletcher, Debbie Jervis TV. Good evening, and welcome. Colleen, good evening. Lynette Jenkins, good evening. Miranda Roddock, Marcia Thomas. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Now, the new defense ministry, but we're going to keep that on the back burner for now. Jamrock 8766, how are you? We're going to shove that on the back burner for now. Better late than never, some would argue. I welcome Golden's intervention into the bus scandal saga. The intervention is late, it is welcome. I do have criticisms though. As usual, no hard to please. We're going to go through an article we did on it. On a call crowd, we're going to remind the labor rights them and the rest of Jamaica how Andrew tricked them. How Andrew take 10 years and trick them to secure 5 years. Jamaica, Evelyn, on a run come here. We're going to explain to know how the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of Compton, take 10 years for chicken to secure 5 more years. And we're all in it together doesn't really apply anymore. We will explain that as well. We are all in it together does not really apply anymore. So, Mark Golden intervened. Long overdue, something that should have been done already. Let's listen to the article first, and I'll tell you my criticisms afterwards. I will tell you my
The $1.4 billion.
Bear with us while we adjust the screen. Let us listen, then we'll discuss afterwards.
The $1.4 billion bus controversy. Golding demands high-level corruption probe into Jamaica's school transport deal. Kingston, Jamaica. The political landscape in Jamaica has been jolted by a high-stakes call for transparency, as opposition leader Mark Golding formally requests a multi-agency investigation into the government's controversial $1.40 billion procurement of 110 used school buses. Citing apparent irregularities and suspicious aspects, Golding has signaled that the deal, initially intended to bolster the rural school bus program, may be marred by massive price inflation and procurement breaches. The call for investigation. In a series of letters dispatched to the nation's primary anti-corruption watchdogs, Golding has urged the Integrity Commission, the Auditor General's Department, and the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency to launch a comprehensive probe. While the Integrity Commission is legally bound to remain silent until a report is tabled in Parliament, MOCA has confirmed receipt of the complaint. Basil Jarrett, MOCA's communications lead, stated that a full and comprehensive evaluation is currently underway to assess the credibility, veracity, and substance of the allegations brought forward by the opposition. The price gap and financial discrepancies. The crux of Golding's argument lies in a startling disparity between the actual market value of the vehicles and the price paid by the Jamaican taxpayers. According to Golding, invoices for a batch of 26 buses showed an average unit cost of approximately $16,350 United States dollars. However, the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport reported a total spend of $1.4 billion for 110 buses, an average of $12.7 million per bus. This means the government has paid on average about $10 million more per bus than the overseas supplier's invoiced price, Golding noted. The opposition is now demanding to know where that surplus of over $1 billion went and why such a significant markup was approved. Questionable suppliers and new labels. Golding's letters also cast doubt on the legitimacy of the companies involved in the transaction. El Hydro Limited, the local contractor, awarded the deal via a single-source method. Golding alleges the company is not an accredited motor vehicle dealer. Trerari Advisors LLC, the Chicago-based entity that supplied the buses to El Hydro. Despite being described by Minister Daryl Vaz as a sole distributor, Golding pointed out that Trerari's own website focuses on business consultation with no mention of transportation or automotive sales. Furthermore, the investigation request highlights a potential misrepresentation of the fleet's age. While some correspondence from the Jamaica Trade Board allegedly labeled the units as new, VIN decoding reports suggest several buses are actually 14 to 15 years old. These vehicles reportedly bypassed mandatory pre-shipment inspections required for used imports. Procurement warnings and future outlook. The controversy is exacerbated by a prior warning from the Public Procurement Commission. Although the PPC technically endorsed the $1.40 billion deal last year, it issued a stern warning to the Transport Ministry against hand-picking contractors. The Commission explicitly stated that the ministry should avoid future direct awards and shift toward competitive bidding processes to ensure value for money. In response to the growing scrutiny and the operational challenges of maintaining an older fleet, Transport Minister Daryl Vaz recently announced that the government intends to pivot. For the upcoming 2026-27 fiscal year, the administration plans to acquire 100 brand new buses rather than continuing with used imports. As MOCA continues its evaluation, the pressure remains on the government to provide a line-by-line accounting of the $1.4 billion expenditure. For the parents and students in rural Jamaica who rely on these buses to navigate difficult mountainous terrain, the outcome of this probe is not just a matter of politics, but a matter of safety and national integrity.
What's new? I'll ask Mr. Golden. What's new and what took you so long? Because if you remember in the Jill scandal, it didn't take Dr. Dawes much time to make this referral to places like IC and all of that to carry out the probe. There's not much new here. Norman, how you do? There's nothing new here, Mr. Golden. All of these information, we've been going on about them. But what took Mr. Golden so long to gather all of what he's gathered together to put this complaint forward at the moment? You see what I mean when I said leading from behind? Because from the get-go, we all have been going on about this. They use it as a political tool during the election. I mean, it would have been a good time, or is it that Mr. Golden was saying then, we're not going to play the politics? Who is the Shadow Minister of Transport? I think it's Philip Paulwell, is it not? If it's not Philip Paulwell, it is, what's him call him? Miguel Phillips. It is one of those lot. But that was used, Mark Golden, is it not, as a baton ball during the election? Just like how Dr. Dawes moved with Laprity and make those referral and so on that time. Is it Waverly Gordon? How are you? Abina Sarkodie, how you do? What took you so long? This intervention should have been this pressure in the school bus scandal. This pressure, because given that the government tried to, even though every time them force it down with long spoon, we vomit it back up, they have been pushing the new bus narrative on us, which we knew weren't, which we see the evidence that they weren't. I asked Mark Golden, even though I welcome the intervention, what is new and what took you so long? Then to Daryl Vaz now. When say in this year budget, when I move to 100 new bus, Lord Jesus, if we pay $1.4 billion for all full roofs, the old full roofs and hog pen, in Jamaica, no have to go ban on the belly tight. When you hear the price to them, I 100 new bus, you know. And they say them I go new. And I miss it so. I don't know where them I go get it from, but they say new. But the other fleet, Daryl Vaz, there was about 60 more of the old bus to come, isn't it? Jamaica, you remember how much more of the old broke down bus them for come raise Fowler and Hagina? Does anyone remember how much of the hog pen and fowl roofs where the minister paid $1.4 billion for outstanding? Does anyone knows? Miguel Phillips is the shadow transport. Okay. Oh, no, nobody remember how much are the Agpen and Foul rules or road shop cook side good government could even use them as bus stop fare like here. Use them for bus stop. The easy jerk wagwan. Now that the son are gonna move to 100 new bus, will we still get the rest of all bus them? We pay for them already in a Darrell Vaz. We pay for them already. Jamaica, you don't remember how much all bus outstanding? If I remember correctly, we should have gotten 26. We've gotten 10. I never, no, man, now. Out of the 110, I never do about 50 had come in. Me remember how much come in, but what me want to know from Darrell Vaz, before we move on to the brand new one, them, the brand spanking new one, them will go come pretty like a Nigel. What to the old one, them, the old one, the full rules, the full cup, them we pay for already, Darrell Vaz. What happened to them one? We still are going to get them? Or we have to go give up on them? And when we get the old full rules and hang pen, how much more money we have to go spend on retrofitting tire and all I can remember. So then the old sin thing them will complete with Jay already, you know. Remember, so the old full rules, them, the old macadam them. Remember them bleed with Jai already. And we still have more to come. Is it that when the 100 new bus, 60 outstanding? Thank you, Marvin. 60 are the old bus, Darrell Vaz, the old full rules, them, the old hang pen and the old cook shop, Darrell Vaz. You could have even take them to bus stop or find square. Oh, you know a good. No, let me tell you what you could do, Darrell Vaz. Many of our schools around the country do not have what's you might call it? A staff room or a lounge for lounge area or a rest area for especially auxiliary workers. Some teachers as well have to just have them lunch in a them classroom. What we could do with those old bagaboos is use them on school compound as a restroom where people can go there and have them lunch break, have them tea break, have them chill out time. Because a lot of our schools, Darrell Vaz, do not have those facilities. And since as we spend money on the old sinting them already, the chain of ballistic buses, since as we spend so much money on the old chain of ballistic buses, we might as well put them to good use. Another way we could use them as a library on school compound, Darrell Vaz. There's several ways that we could use them. Right now, there is use for some of them in Western Jamaica where, like with parish council and with library will get decimated by Melissa. You could use them for those temporary services at the moment. But we still want to know if the 60 old bus were outstanding out of the 110 old bus. Because we always emphasize the word new, you know. So we have to emphasize the word old bus. Before we move on to the 100 new bus, so-called, we want to finish up with the other 60 old bus were outstanding. Mm? We can we don't want to come in like Bobby Montague use car deal, Darrell Vaz. This we will not allow this to become a Bobby Montagueism. Mm? We want before we pencil out money, Darrell Vaz. Before we pencil out money, Guillaume. As I said before, it's about time we stop getting all wicked about these crew. Before we pencil out more money, gear Darrell Vance, we need to settle upon the all boss them first. We can pencil out how much we don't even know how much we're going to charge with for them. And if we're not charged with 1.4 billion for all boss, well, you know, could I get them for even that $1 one? Hmm? $1 one Darrell Vaz. I remember you buy them in a bulk. And you know when you buy them in a bulk, Darrell Vaz, you get a knockdown price. Beside the American, them want to get the takaram them out of their country to make space. So you get even more knockdown price. No mind you all get it for charity. And then you do no own markup and galangin to pull wool up, but we want to know about the all boss them first before the rest of 60 all boss before we move on to the 100 so-called new boss. Out order. Bloated bureaucracy. Now, let us go to the Prime Minister's, talk about the Prime Minister's announced story of no new tax for 10 years. And for the last 2 years, the Prime Minister is telling us, I'm not taking my salary. Try to say that I am one of you. I am in it with you. Though they said I deserve a 214 pay rise, I am in it with you. I shan't be taking the salary. Mark Golden took his, said the Prime Minister. What hypocrisy. Now, Andrew Holness told us homework center or library. Exactly, Norma. Holness for 10 years been telling us this is the only government that has not introduced, hold on there. Oh, sorry. No new tax. No new tax for 10 years, he said. And the government then, in your worst time, that's when the government introduced tax on you. And tax the things we are going to spend money upon most. But then Dr. Tufton come out and at Ladybug, oh you do. Then Dr. Tufton come out and I come tell the manufacturers they're to be mindful of reducing the level of sugar in their drink while they're penalizing us to buy them and consume them. But just be mindful. Just be mindful when you're making them, not to make them too sweet. If you want to, it doesn't matter, but just be bloody well mindful. Violet Watson, all you do. Just be mindful. They will have to pay for it, though. And I'll get to Donald Trump and the tariffs in a bit. Then when you come to the Prime Minister's salary, for 2 years, the Prime Minister has been using it as a political tool to rub himself up with the Jamaica people to say, I'm thinking of you. I'm one of you. I'm leading from the front. Though they say I am entitled to it. I am not going to take it because I understand your pain. I feel your pain. I understand your pressure at the supermarket and all that. That would what the Prime Minister is trying to push for the last 2 years. In any interviews or whenever I'm holding mic or whatever, especially throughout the election, during the election debate, the Prime Minister uses that. Immediately after the general election, the Prime Minister decides, whoopsie daisy, I've tricked them and I've won. I now can take it comfortably because no matter how they roar, I don't have to go back to them until 5 more years. They are goldfish. They have got very short memory. Just allow them to swim around the pool, and I guarantee you they'll forget about it. So it's a good time for the Prime Minister to just walk in and take him pay rise. Another question we should be asking ourselves, though, should we not ask them or force them to legislate the nonsense that PJ Patterson left upon us? That PJ Patterson, Bruce Golden, Portia Simpson are all getting the salary Andrew Holness is getting. What can go so? What about our teachers? These people leave office as millionaires. Should we be paying them a prime minister's salary continuously? We must reverse the PJ's bullshit. We know it was bullshit, don't we? We don't have money to pay our public sector workers. And our wicked, evil past prime ministers, we are propping them up the same tune of a current prime. Why do we need a current prime minister then? What if it's based on salary and if it's based on performance? What did Portia Simpson do? What did PJ do? What did Bruce Golden do for us to be now paying them $28 million per year? After them thief with money, after them walk off with money, Colin, how you do? We shouldn't be this nonsense. The people of Jamaica must ask for legislative reform and this bullshit that PJ Patterson leave us in. That money what we are pencil off to 3 old hawks, this money that we're penciling off to 3 old political hawks on a yearly basis could go better towards the public service, public sector pay, towards refurbishing our schools and replenishing our schools, replenishing our hospitals. Do something with it. But we cannot continue to pay these criminals to just sit home and do bugger all while we're paying a prime minister to flaunt himself around the place doing F all. Of 4 people, we're paying. Jamaica, are we the only fools in this world? Are we the only fools in this world? This is why I'm trying to say these 2 people are peas and pod. One inside, one outside. Peas and pod. One inside, one outside, because the 2 parties come together. Labour supported that when they were in power. When PJ Patterson brought his bullshit. Something which should have never been supported. On a thief, we pay on enough. On a thief enough. On a collect enough allowances. On a live enough high life. And God Almighty, after no thief and gone, we still have to account of burden the same way. And no go on like say, no in a it with we. No go on like, no understand we feeling drunk or no know, no talk to. Our leaders are junk crows. They feed on our dead meat. Now let's go to the Prime Minister bloated bureaucracy. And then we'll come back on the other end of it. Bloated bureaucracy. A new entity to steal. What do you say? This is the no. Make we leave with discussion and we're lashing and branching for when the article done.
The establishment of a dedicated Ministry of Defense by Prime Minister Andrew Holness is a significant administrative shift following the devastation of Hurricane Melissa. While the Prime Minister argues the restructuring is essential for seamless management of national security and disaster response, the decision invites critical discussion regarding its fiscal and strategic costs, especially as Jamaica navigates a recovery estimated at $8.8 billion United States dollars. 1. Direct administrative and operating costs. Creating a new ministry involves immediate and recurring expenditures, even when housed within the office of the Prime Minister. Staffing and salaries. A new ministry requires its own executive structure. While Dr. Rocky Mead will double as the permanent secretary for defense, the ministry will still necessitate dedicated administrative, clerical, and technical staff to manage the now separated defense functions. Physical and digital infrastructure. Establishing a dedicated entity often entails costs for new secure communication systems, office space modifications, and updated digital governance frameworks, even if operating within the existing OPM footprint. Future budgetary expansion. Holness has already signaled plans to expand the Jamaica Defense Force's maritime surveillance and airlift capabilities in the upcoming budget cycle. This suggests the new ministry will serve as a vehicle for increased capital expenditure on high-cost military hardware. 2. Opportunity cost in the aftermath of Melissa. The cost is most contentious when viewed against the backdrop of the hurricane's destruction. Resource diversion. Jamaica recently secured $6.7 billion United States dollars in international support for a 3-year rebuild. Critics may argue that funds used to create and staff a new administrative layer could be more effectively utilized for the restoration of owner or occupant family shelter program, which is currently dispersing billions of JMD to households with severe damage. Prioritization of recovery versus security. With 1.5 million Jamaicans impacted and over 100,000 housing structures damaged, the administrative cost of a new Ministry of Defense must be weighed against the urgent need for basic infrastructure repair and food assistance for the 36,000 people reported to be in dire need shortly after the storm. 3. Strategic insurance versus bureaucratic bloat. The government justifies the cost as a long-term investment in resilience. Efficiency gains. The Prime Minister's argument is that the previous arrangement was insufficient for the scale of disasters like Melissa. If the new ministry successfully prevents future recovery bottlenecks or enhances the JDF's efficiency in disaster zones, the upfront administrative cost could be seen as an insurance premium that saves billions in the long run. Coordination costs. Historically, separating portfolios can lead to siloing, where communication between the Ministry of National Security and the Ministry of Defense becomes more complex. This could inadvertently increase the coordination cost during emergencies, the very issue the restructuring aims to solve. Conclusion. The cost of the new Ministry of Defense is not merely a line item in the budget, it is a statement of priority. While the government views the administrative expense as a necessary step toward domain awareness and security, the public criticism noted by Holness reflects a concern that fiscal resources should remain laser-focused on the immediate, tangible needs of a population whose annual wealth was reduced by nearly a third in a single storm.
Keep in context when I speak of a government that plans to cut bureaucracy and a government who rammed home the message of fiscal prudence. Let's go back a couple of years ago at the Prime Minister reshuffle of his cabinet when Marlene Malahoo, that one, was the Attorney General. Was it the Attorney General she was then? Yes, the Attorney General. Rather than let Marlene go, the Prime Minister set out to create a ministry for Marlene the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. You can call it the White Elephant Ministry. Something I argued against at the time of the creation and advised the Prime Minister all that you needed to do is create an arm within the Ministry of Justice that deal with the constitutional affairs. Want to create the bullshit for. Now, we've spent a lot of money setting out that ministry, building, retrofitting, Michelle Johnson oil the building, retrofitting, staffing, and all the fuckery that we spend on them. To then a later reshuffle of the Prime Minister's cabinet. The Prime Minister did exactly what I told him to do when he created the office, is subsumed it with the Ministry of Justice portfolio, which is now what's happening. How much money, might one ask, that we spend on that White Elephant Ministry? Michelle, YouTuber shadow ban me. A lot of people not getting my notification. YouTuber shadow ban me because they don't want me to talk about Jeffrey Epstein or what have you. But me still have a talk. And wait, me go deal with the British Parliament and Trump in a bit. So ask Andrew Holness how much the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs costs we. Something that was never needed. And now ask this question. Do we need a a new ministry? Whoever has been Prime Minister has always been Minister of Defense, coordinated with the JDF. Do we need another ministry? Do we have money to set up a new ministry over Jamaica House? Because this ministry is going over Jamaica House as well. Because, you know, Andrew have to put everything in our bosoms. But we need to be asking the question, do we need another ministry? Or should it continue in the same way? And will we get any better or any more competent service? Or will it just be a bureaucratic bloat? Will it just be another entity under the weight of procurement and contract scandal? Another entity where we disburse money to and nobody can tell us where it go? Do we really need that at this time when the people of Western Jamaica is still under zinc and tarpaulin? Like, seriously? Does the country have the money to set up a new ministry? And who we're going to war with, what we want military hardware and say, look here, Prime Minister. Prime Minister of Compton. Yeah, your analysis story them. How Jamaica people buy them, you know, Andrew Holness. This is so puzzling. How Jamaica people buy Andrew Robinson, how you do? How Jamaica people buy your analysis story them, make you get back in a power. It's bewildering, you know, Prime Minister. It's bewildering. Because me never know say we so fool or we so idiot to turn up and do the same thing there all over again. But you play the analysis story them, and the analysis story them work. Cause see they know. And when you did act like you care, when we know you never care, now you show it to all the labor right them say, me no give to Rasta here. Because me I put the tax on you, and me I take the salary, and me I take it with retroactive too. The question I want to ask though, Prime Minister, while you stuck at the $9 million bar, the previous Prime Minister had to stay at that bar as well. Now that you're collecting your pittance in retroactive, does it mean that the former Prime Ministers will also be paid that retroactive that the Jamaica a whole I want costs? a whole heap of money. We need that question answered. Because now that we know Andrew Holness is taking his, and he's taking it retroactively, we also need to know, because the current the previous prime minister's pension is tied to the current prime minister's salary. So while Andrew didn't take the raise, the other three previous prime ministers, for them pension couldn't go up. It remained at Andrew's salary. Now that we know Andrew Holness is taking his salary retroactively, we want to know if the retroactivity applies to the three previous prime ministers. Well, because a whole heap of money if you take up and throw, just throw up in the ear, so especially know they don't need it. Especially know that for Bruce Gold in Harbour Shark. Can't tell me what you say. When we buy 3 pounds weight fish, we cut you up, we cook 4 or 5 night dinner out of it for your family of 4. Yeah, the same people them, the same bunch of Mossad and Jeffrey Epstein demons. Yeah, them tell we say we fi ban we belly. We fi starve ourselves of protein, while Sherry Golden Fadner, Sherry Golden Pooper, I go get $28 million a year. And she said we fi ban we belly and tie we not and starve ourselves of protein. Jamaica, we and them not in it together. How could we, when we can buy, we can't even buy all fish where Sherry Golden I tell you about, a fish back with a fair buy. We don't know say we going down. Will you be fooled again? Of course, when I goldfish. And the allness good pan optics and narrative. And the allness copy L.A. Lewis. Yeah? And the allness copy L.A. Lewis. They know, so the more you say the things, and the longer you say it, and the longer you repeat it, and the more often you repeat it, it become normal and natural, and people start believe the same thing goes off it true. And that Andrew do we don't know. Narrative, active optics, and sound bites. Narratives, optics, and sound bites. And that. We don't expect better, you know. Look at the level of corruption that we legitimized on the 3rd of September last year. We would be stupid to expect any better. Better would be a brata. Better would be brata. But if we're going to look for better, when for the last 9-10 years, I mean, we've lost count of corruption. We've lost count of misappropriation of the budget, contract breaches, procurement breaches, scandals left, right, and center. Up until now, this government went to the poll under a cloud of scandal, jail scandal, bus scandal, all sorts of scandal. And whether them thief them way through it, or them win fair and square through it, which is hard to come by, will you be fooled again, is the question. But we still need a more robust opposition, Mark Golden. We not settle for the less. For those of you Jamaicans who want to settle for the less, it's okay with you. Settling for the less is not okay with me. Just like how me out here tired 2 times a day. Just like how many other vloggers out here many times a day. Why the PNP can't pick up a speed like we? Look how long it take Mark Golden to come around and she said this level of intervention needed in our $1.4 billion scandal for the $1 US all bust them. Now let me just sidestep and go to Trump, then the British Parliament. Now, you know, the Supreme Court has ruled and slapped down Trump tariff war, which pinned Trump in a corner in his lashing out, his big man baby attitude of lashing out against the Supreme Court. But he's using other mechanisms to impose a limited tariff that law allows him to do. The issue, though, is the refund of the tariff that the American importers queued up in over $1 billion. That, say, $1.5 billion was passed down to you, the American consumers. The refund, though, is only going back to the American importers. Sharon Bernard, how are you? You see how they target us, and how no matter what is happening in this world, is us who bear the brunt of it. Because you, the American consumers, picked up the high prices, as I did tell enough on time. All it go cost is higher price of things or scarcity in things. That's the only two way that tariff war could have go: high prices or scarcity. It turned out to be high prices, in some ways scarcity as well. But those importers will be getting back their refund that they pass on to you in billions. And you, the American consumers, will not get a dime back, because your tariff hit in a way where it never hit other countries where have to impose counter tariff on Donald Trump. Now come to the royal, them lot over here. Now, other day them arrest Prince Andrew. Before that, they search Peter Mandelson's house. And then yesterday, they arrest Peter Mandelson. But I want to address the British Parliament on today's another attempt of pulling the wool over our eyes. We care one jot. And when I say one jot, we mean one diddle jot of the tittle and the riffle between Uno and Prince Andrew and Mandelson when it comes to trade secret and state secret. We don't care about them something there. That a family war between one. But the hypocrisy British Parliament, the all on take on a turn today. History breaking a British Parliament today. They took their time that they line up to sword Prince Andrew. Don't know why I'm not going like Prince Andrew and Lord Man, this is the only devil in the British Empire. Once upon a time. The empire part, the once upon a time. But to have not even mentioned in your putting down of Andrew, Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, not to have mentioned any of victim Epstein and Andrew's victim, not even the victim that came out in the photograph, not even Virginia Giuffre, not the girls that we were told that was flown to Stansted Airport and then was chauffeured off to Buckingham Palace, underage girls. No, the British Parliament, not one word. You all Epstein collaborators. Hmm? You bunch of Epstein collaborators. Not one recognition of the victims. Victim we only know say Elizabeth and Charles helped to pay off, even though Virginia had a Diana, then sadly committed suicide. So they say. And the British Parliament lined up one after the other today to attack Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, but not acknowledging the victims of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Prince Queen Elizabeth's son. You bunch of disgrace and wrong-uns. I mean, we should dig Elizabeth up to face this disgrace. Hmm? After all, she's been head of the British Empire for an awful long time. She has sanctioned the friendship of many pedophiles, isn't it, Lilibet? So me no want, like Andrew and Manderson bring shame to the British Empire. What is unfolding? It was what the British Empire was built on. The whole Epstein debacle is what the British Empire imported to America, is what the British Empire was built on here, is what the British Empire export wherever they. So it's nothing new. What is new in this? It is that the veil is being lifted. That's the only new part of all of this, you know. The only new thing is the veil is being lifted. So when you come out here come frightened with both trade secret and government secret, that's a family war. This is the British monarchy and the British Parliament. This has nothing to do with we. We're talking about Prince Charles, Prince Andrew, Mountbatten Windsor's victims. The underage girls who was trafficked to Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. That is what we want to hear the British Parliament talk about. That is what we want the British police to investigate, rather than come with a bullshit of state secret and trade secret. Who the fuck gives a fuck about on a family war? Take on a family war in private and move out of our face with it. Bunch of pedophiles and wrong-uns and bastards. Anyway, who we are going to go to next? The dirty carry come. The dirty meat eating junker them called CARICOM. What a hypocrisy. What a hypocrisy. The very bastard that is trying to drown their sister country. A sister country that has stood and support the Caribbean.
The geopolitics of
For the 7 decades of embargo placed under by the Americans, Cuba has never failed when it comes to stand opal Lord love, oil and the weather, me know it tan bad pan for no side of world there. Cuba has never failed when it comes to standing with the Caribbean, when it comes to supporting the Caribbean. Now, this little hand, Marco Rubio, as you remember Donald Trump say, you know what they say about men with small hands. Descendant of Cuba, descendant of the exiled, those who are still feeling the hurt and pain, the capitalist of Cuba. And when CARICOM is having their 58, and at the rant and raving Marco Rubio is doing in the region, if it is not that CARICOM is an American organization, then CARICOM should have shown support and for Cuba and not invite Marco Rubio. One of Marco Rubio got talk about we're gonna make any difference to Cuba. Marco Rubio walk around the Caribbean and I telling you, oh, hey, don't make me cuss on it tonight, you know. Don't make me cuss on it tonight. Because we don't need to declare the Caribbean as the 51st state of America. We don't need, but me did tell you, from 2003, so the American them threaten Andrew, so them are going to take over because Andrew have too much Chinese investment in Jamaica. No can't say me never tell you no so. So no can't show no support for Cuba. We have to bow down to whatever Marco Rubio and Donald Trump want. What a sad time for the Caribbean. What a sad time for the Caribbean. When we have been taken over physically by the Americans, but not in our benefit. The American claim of world hegemony and world dominance reimpose themselves, and our leaders just capitulate and turn over so, and bend over so, and bend down so. But me tell you, we're not going to need Cuba one day, you know. Me not ask you, me tell you. Because America has no friends. America has no ally. It's only what is beneficial to America. Anytime you're not beneficial to America, America drop you and gone. America in a long game. But remember, China is on the rise. Russia has re-emerged. BRICS is rising, and that will protect Cuba. So, Uno Caribbean, the last set of development, Uno are gonna miss it. Because America has never helped Uno to reach a state of development, infrastructure development, where the Chinese them are assist Uno, you know. So when the Americans them cut off that level of development found, are we, the populace, are going to miss out? The $6.7 billion Andrew take from the United States, they say it's a 3-year rebuilding program. Let's see how quick, let's see if Black River will rebuild in 3 years now. Let's see if Black River will rebuild in 3 years. Let us listen to the article. But these CARICOM junkers, they are an embarrassment to what you call sovereignty and autonomy. And these idiots, they do speak the word sovereignty, autonomy. What not talk about what I say so? Sovereignty means you can tell Donald Trump to fuck off. This is domestic policy. Fuck off. This is regional policy. And then you all turn around and tell us about autonomy and sovereignty. Where? Sovereignty and autonomy where? When you're all being pushed around here, there, and everywhere. Donald Trump not gonna put the health of the population at risk just because of their hurt narcissistic feeling? You couldn't make it up.
The geopolitics of hegemony, Rubio, CARICOM, and the fragile zone of peace. The confirmation of U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's attendance at the 50th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in St. Kitts and Nevis marks a pivotal moment for Caribbean diplomacy. While the official agenda focuses on shared priorities like regional security and energy, the visit highlights a deepening friction between the Caribbean's aspirational status as a zone of peace and the rigid, often punitive, U.S. foreign policy toward the region's largest island, Cuba. The collision of zone of peace and U.S. militarization. Since the 1979 OAS resolution and subsequent CELAC declarations, the Caribbean has sought to maintain a zone of peace. This doctrine is rooted in non-intervention, the peaceful settlement of disputes, and the absence of foreign military escalations.
Well, go on,
However,
Karen.
Rubio's presence coincides with a period of heightened U.S. naval activity in the Caribbean, often justified as anti-narcotics or anti-terrorism efforts directed at Venezuela, which regional leaders like Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley have previously criticized as menacing. Rubio, a long-standing hawk on Latin American affairs, represents a brand of U.S. diplomacy that views the Caribbean through the lens of great power competition. His focus on regional security often translates into pressure on CARICOM nations to align with Washington's security architecture, potentially compromising the zone of peace by drawing the region into broader geopolitical standoffs. The Cuba paradox, Rubio's embargo versus Caribbean reality. The most glaring tension in this meeting is the U.S. embargo on Cuba. Marco Rubio has been one of the most vocal architects of maximum pressure on Havana, frequently labeling Cuban medical missions, which are vital to the healthcare systems of many CARICOM members, as human trafficking or forced labor. For the Cuban population, the embargo remains a daily humanitarian crisis, exacerbated by Cuba's previous designation on the state sponsor of terrorism list. Rubio's attendance signals that while the U.S. may offer economic growth and energy security to CARICOM, it does so while maintaining a policy of economic strangulation against Cuba, a policy that every CARICOM nation has historically voted against at the United Nations. Critically discussing the CARICOM silence. The prompt raises the issue of CARICOM silence, which is a complex diplomatic reality. CARICOM is rarely truly silent. The bloc consistently issues statements calling for the end of the U.S. embargo. However, there is a perceived strategic silence in face-to-face engagements with high-level U.S. officials. 1. Economic vulnerability. CARICOM nations are caught in a dependency trap. With the U.S. being the primary source of tourism, remittances, and security funding, many leaders choose to separate their multilateral rejection of the embargo from their bilateral cooperation with Washington. 2. Pragmatic engagement. During Rubio's 2025 to 2026 engagements, leaders like Jamaica's Andrew Holness have had to walk a tightrope, defending their use of Cuban doctors while simultaneously seeking U.S. help for the security crisis in Haiti. 3. The price of dissent. The fear is that vocal public confrontation over Cuba during a visit from a Secretary of State known for his with us or against us stance could lead to de-risking by U.S. banks or the loss of trade preferences. Conclusion. Secretary Rubio's visit to St. Kitts is a test of CARICOM's unity. While the official communiqué will likely speak of stability and prosperity, the underlying reality is a region struggling to protect its zone of peace from being swallowed by a new Cold War in the Americas. CARICOM's silence is not a lack of opinion, but a survival tactic in an era where the United States continues to use the Cuban embargo as a tool of regional discipline. The question remains, can the Caribbean truly be a zone of peace while its neighbor is under a 60-year siege, supported by the guest of honor?
Very criminal. Very criminal of the Caribbean to have Marco Rubio in their midst, given what the people of Cuba is enduring at the moment because of them stepping up on their oil and gas blockade. Very criminal, very disrespectful, and not showing solidarity. One Marco Rubio I got talk about that is going to change Marco Rubio and Donald Trump mind and Donald Trump's stance. This is not a regime that one can negotiate with. It's my way or the highway or the with us, the Bush chant, the with us or against us. CARICOM has failed miserable in its duty of brotherhood. Failed miserably. And I know the state of Cuba is watching on. And the states within the Caribbean will need Cuba's support because you're all not that advanced enough. Because On the 7 decades of embargo, Cuba advanced better than UNO. Imagine Cuba had the place, the riddle room, the elbow room to do what you've all failed miserably, especially Jamaica, to do. Imagine, Prime Minister of Compton, just imagine, you're a grand old failure, a crook, a hypocrite, and a thief, Andrew Holness. God will judge you. We may not get with justice, but we know that either in your grave or upon your deathbed, Andrew Holness, we're going to get our justice. You see, just like how we are prepared for the fall of America, because we know once they attack Iran, once they attack Iran, it will hasten the fall of America, because they're going to meet up onto something that the Americans are just not, in their arrogance, the blindness of the American arrogance. They are not prepared for what they're going to meet up into. Epstein file shows if we lose respect for what are the trash of this world, those in places of position and power, how dare we continue to call these people honorable so and so? Or in the case of the most prolific crook we've ever had in Jamaica, we call that bastard the most honorable. And you know, whatever the effort that comes after that. But thank you all for being here tonight. Lovely to have your support. And let us campaign. Let us wage a new campaign for the reversal of the burden PJ Patterson leave us with. The stitching of their pension to the prime. We can't pay. We can't. Uno do the maths there for me, no? Uno do the maths, so 28.5 million times 4. Uno check quick. Uno check fast. And while you're all checking, remember in your description area, the link to our app on our website is there. You can join our app where we put our print news out. For those of you who are not aware, we're in the print news business as well. We're in competition with the Gleaner, because Gleaner Observer go on like for them time to tell lie not over. And it's a new dawn of departing information now. So we're in the business of print news. So the link to our app is in the description area of your channel, and the link to our website, where the articles are both on the website and in the app. But in the app, you get more, because in the app, we're continuing to build out the app. You will continue to see more. We have a place for, you will call it be in the know, where we keep changing the content of that area, depends on the new development of breaking news. We have an international era also, where we put an article of what's going on the international scene. We also have a slot for regional news for the rest of the Caribbean. And we also have another slot as well for Global TV Eye and Africa. So we're continuing to build out the app. In the app as well, there's also a community area where we can all communicate. You who are members of the app, you can post in the community area as well, the Global TV Press Fan Club. You can post in that area as well, as long as you post within the rules. You can also post videos, you can write and post it there, photographs. You can post within the community areas within the thingy as well. So interact with the articles and all the content what we have put out, because we're promoting reading as well, and these short articles will help you to develop your reading skill, get you into the speed if you've been out of reading for a long time now. And it will also keep you informed and keep you up to the important current affair of the jibs and job we're going in our country. Remember, we don't write under the strain of an editor. So we're not the gleaner, we are the observer nationwide. We may have to write in a way to protect the government or whatever. We write independently. So support the content. All right. Anyway, we're going to go about with business here now. But we must campaign for roll back. Will not tell me how much it costs yet. Me never even looking at the comment. The 28 billion, 28.5 billion times 4. That's what we're paying per year. That's what we will be paying now that Andrew Holness accepted his salary. And the pension of Portia Simpson, PJ Patterson, and Bruce Golden is tied. Is tied to Andrew Holness' salary. So that's the amount of money that we are paying to just 4 prime minister. 114 million. 114 million per year. Jamaica, we have to reverse this. We have to reverse this, Jamaica. Come on now. 114 billion. Kiss me, Penny Royal. I'm not sure say so. No man a million. No man a million and a billion. 28.5 million times 4. And a million. Also? Me no, so me can't check. Yes, a million. 114 million per year in a prime minister salary. Or no think we can afford that when teacher can buy pen and marker? When map not in a hospital? When we not a road for walk pan road a walk and mash up people vehicle at Jamaica like news. Me don't know how that not hit headline yet. Say the road I pick up people car and lick it down at Jamaica. And we are penciling out. We will be penciling out 114 million a year. For what? Fishery Golden County will say, buy one fish and cut you up and starve yourself, ban your belly, because we are going to tax on 100, taking salary retroactive. We need to know if the chief prime minister get retroactive too. We need to know if the other chief prime minister, may I go back my business because they mustn't think you're painful. They mustn't think you're painful. So may I go about my business because we need to know when police that work are dead for hungry, teacher that work are dead for hungry, nurse that work are dead for hungry, junior doctor that work are dead for hungry. Don't bother even talk about the fireman them we are drop down dead pan the job. And we are paying 114 million out of what we know have. You know say we are thief Peter PayPal? No, you know say we are thief Peter for PayPal though. Anyway, me I go and about my business. Next thing you hear then say, me a hypocrite. But Jamaica, we can't tolerate this. God Almighty know. We don't have so much to pay for idiot. Especially cheap idiot when I do nothing. Bad to bad, we pay one idiot for do nothing at all. And then we just pay 3 more other idiot for just look on so. And in a hat no. No go on here. Anyway, globalists, thank you all for being here tonight. Lovely to have your support. And please do join us back tomorrow morning when we will start the riot all over with the government again. All right? Thank you. And good night from Global TV. I want to miss something. Murder. What?
Too long in our little ghetto. Run, keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just I and I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I she never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Day or night. We gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare every the way. Prepare every.
Natural mistake. Hold on, you say me there go on. And you make me go drop down, you know. Nobody will drop down galangin, you know. Because you must think you drop down galangin. What about Miss Siaga and Miss Manley? Something can go so? No, Miss Manley. Beverly Manley, she never remarried. Was Beverly Manley did remarried, so Manley did have no wife after Beverly, no. So we don't owe Beverly no pension because Beverly did remarried. Once you remarried, then you lose your marital allowance, which would include the pension. In the case of Miss Siaga, I don't know. Possibly. Jesus, oh no, make a drop down. Cause drop, they may a drop down galangin, but me a go about my business, go drop down in a piece. Cause when we think of 114 million, it might just be more. What a disgrace. Nurse and teacher and doctor, and policeman and fire worker. What happened to Uno? Uno, somebody picking it to you, know? No, sir.
Too long in our little ghetto. Run, keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just I and I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I she never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Day or night. We gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down. Me say Rastafari. War and crime. And do that righteousness. And we love. And we love Jaja. And we love Jaja. And we love Jaja. We love Jaja. We love Jaja. Put time away again. Listen.
Yeah.
So just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace while we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for Rastafari. Fight down war and fight. Fight down war and fight. Rastafari, war and crime. And build up righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Rastafari. Preserve all. And we love Jah. Me love Jah. Me love Jah. Rastafari. Preserve all. Me love Jah. Rastafari.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.